All right, we are now live. Let's see here. My internet always screws up when I'm doing something live.
This is my first time.
It's your first time doing this?
Yeah.
All right, so reporting live with Miss, I'm gonna call you Miss Smith, calling out of Georgia. Now, Miss Smith had a very interesting situation that's been going on for the past, what, 3 months now? 3 months?
Yeah. 2, 3 months.
Um, it's the first time I've seen a situation escalate and de-escalate the way it did, involving a a city citation. So let's start back from the beginning. And the reason why we're gonna do this is so that we all understand and understand the process in order to understand what worked and why it worked. You see what I mean? So because something can you can end up doing something and something works, but you don't know why it works. So if something happens again, you might not know how to apply it because you went through three different scenarios. You dealt with the city, and you dealt with the state, and then you actually dealt with the courts. Those are three different challenges, three different opponents. All right, so starting from the beginning, let everybody know where you actually when did you get this so-called ticket and citation, and let us know what it was for.
Okay. It was in October, and it was for failure to stay in my lane.
For failure to stay in your lane.
hmm
Now, were you driving on a regular street or on the expressway?
Um, it's Peachtree Industrial. They said it was a highway, but I don't think it was the highway. I think it was a, it was a busy street, a busy intersection, but um, it was traffic, and I wanted to make a right, but it was a green light, but it was just backed up traffic. So I got over into like the emergency lane area, like over there, and I made a right. And as soon as I did that, I got pulled over. I'm like, dang.
Oh, okay. All right. So the cop pulls you over, writes you a ticket and the ticket was said failure to stay in lane, right, or improper
Mhm.
uses of lane. That was the initial charge.
Mhm.
Nothing more, nothing less. And then what was the amount of how much was the ticket for?
When I called to see if I would just pay the ticket, it was 200 and something dollars, like 233 or 243.
Okay.
But when I was given the ticket that day, I was telling the officer, you can't just give me a warning. And he was like, nah. I'm like, really? Nobody was hurt. I was careful when doing it. It's just like he wanted to, I guess, trip that day. So when I called, like I said, it was like 243 or $33. And I was like, really? That's so much for something it's not even that serious. And I couldn't believe it.
Okay. Now at this point, it was still a basic civil suit, basically between the city and versus you. Now, from that day, you got the ticket, and I believe around that time, a little bit after that, uh, you had contacted me about the situation.
Mhm.
'Cause you didn't want to, of course, you didn't want to pay it because you didn't believe, you thought it was some bullshit.
Right.
So, so my suggestion, of course, not legal advice because I'm not a lawyer and attorney. My suggestion I suggested that you pretty much deal with the situation the way I suggest everybody deal with a situation like that that's not criminal, uh, which is always, challenging jurisdiction and reserving your rights.
Hmm.
And so that's what you did with the first letter you sent to the city now, or the county. Now, when you sent that letter, it was like a 4-page document, right?
Hmm.
Pretty.
I want to say it was like two different documents, but yeah, I think it was like 4 pages total.
Yeah, 4-page total. It had a fee schedule in there. It had the officer's name,
Hmm.
the amount, everything. It's requesting the oaths of office from the court. I mean, for the judge. It's a heavy letter. Um, uh, it was actually a quo warranto letter, and you guys can look that up if you want to have more information on the different verbiage and how to use those different documents, affidavits, against certain challenges like this. Now, all said and done, ultimately what it does is just requests and challenges jurisdiction, as well as proof of claim. It demands proof of claim, and it demands that the officers in question provides their the judges provide their oaths of office, as well as the officers. The officers is required to write a written declaration as well, because that's what that was, a written declaration. Because along with that notice, you sent your cover letter, which stated that you wanted to deal with the issue by written declaration, which is a trial. It's a trial by written declaration, meaning through paperwork. So that would take the place of you actually reporting to the courtroom.
Hmm.
So after you gave that notice to the court, um, certified mail with notary, uh, let the people know what happened after that.
I mean, I also received the receipt. I mean, not the receipt, the ticket, and put no contract. I do not consent. I did that too,
Hmm.
but I went ahead and I turned the documents, mailed the documents into them, and they sent me a letter back like a month and a half later, saying that I had to go to court in December, and it would now be criminal. Um, no. Actually, I think the letter said that it wasn't a criminal matter or something like that. But when I called, something told me to call the other day, and when I called, they said that it had been changed to a criminal matter. My charges were changed. I'm just like, how do you change the charges? Originally, it was failure to stay in my lane. Now it's riding in the border and riding on the edge, something like that. And I'm just like, that's not, you know, that's not my initial charges. I thought that was crazy. And they told me I had to come to court. It wasn't something that I could just, mail something in and not show up. I said, all right, cool.
All right. So you also resend back the ticket and everything like that, which is also part of an administrative remedy, because the ticket is nothing more than an offer, or AKA a presentment. So you denied the offer by no consent. Now, the thing about the no consent, for those of us that are familiar with that process, technically that can be overlooked and denied if we surpass the 72-hour period. It's a 72-hour period, and rule with certain contracting with initial presentments and new offers, and a lot of times that could be taken advantage of if we go over that 72-hour period, which is why my suggestion was to also give notice, through your written declaration as well. Um, so now you sent in your notice written declaration, and challenged the jurisdiction, and gave notice of your reservation of rights. Uh, and then you say that the courts contacted you by mail and said that you had another court date, and now basically they took it from that court, from the civil court to the state court.
Mm-hmm.
So now, so from that point to that point, we gotta understand what happened there. So you initially had a court case with this county at this court, which is on this level, the civil level. Now you sent in your documentation. They made the move they made. So that tells us right there, and you had a new court case and also new charges. Now that tells us right there that you actually won that case.
Mm-hmm.
You won that case with that court. They couldn't do anything with you. That's why they tried to pass it to the state. But because the persecutor in the county persecutor that dressed up the initial case still had the authority to kind of manipulate and tailor the charges of the case. That's what they decided to do right before your court case in December, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even when it first got to the state, they didn't turn it into criminal charges and change the details of the case until a few days before the case, right?
Right.
Which is 100% bullshit. So they're doing these things, and when we talked on the phone about it, like I said, none of this never made sense. And I asked you, like, is the area that you stay in, is it racist? And you said, hell yeah. You know, these people do not want to take the loss. They just don't. They don't want to admit they're wrong. They don't want to admit they have no standing. And like I say, none of it made sense, and none of it can ever be proven to add up to make sense to make you liable for those type of charges. Nothing makes sense. You know, for it to be criminal, for one, it has to be a victim. It has to be a victim. It has to be witnesses. It has to be proven. Prosecutors, and judges just can't wake up one day and decide, you know what, criminal charges. You know what, I don't like you. They can't do that. Only thing they can do is try to send you a certain notification or offer in the mail that's only a scare tactic that puts you in a situation where you be like, oh shit, I better just go ahead and pay this. So long story short, and when you first got the notice letting you know that it went from to the state level because they couldn't deal with you, you know what I'm saying? You blew them out the water with that notice. That's what happened. Then the notice said, remember I told you to tell me all the things that are wrong with that notice.
Mm-hmm.
Said first it said this notice is such and such the state of Georgia versus Mr. Smith. You see what I mean? Now it had then right below that it said state.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what? That inconsistencies. Is it the state of Georgia or is it state versus you? Is it state of Georgia versus you or state? It can't be two. Those are two different things. Two different entities. Is it the state versus you or the state of Georgia versus you?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I mean? Another thing, and you pointed this part out, it was no signature on the document.
Right. That was crazy. Like, if a judge signed off on that.
Nobody signed off on it.
Right. Nobody.
So now you go into court. Now the average person would have went to this court date. That's why when you told me that they actually not only did not eliminate the court date or the case, you know, they actually tried to change the charges and up the charges to criminal. I'm like, if it was a regular person that is not fit for this, they would have lost because that was my only. I wasn't worried about nothing else except for how you handled the situation, being inside that you're boarding that ship called the courts and dealing with these people, and because after you gave notice to the court of your standing and stating your claim, you've already spoken. Your voice has already been, it's already on the record. You have no purpose to say anything. So the only thing that court date was just a game to see if you was gonna accept and consent to the charges and volunteer yourself to the charges. Because they was to the point of they knew they couldn't fuck with you based on that. Because how you turn a case into criminal and then when I get there, you willing to give me you wouldn't give me a lower offer of just okay,
Right.
pay us $100. I thought you said it was
Yeah.
a serious matter. I thought this was criminal. So you was expecting going in there, or we would think we would be going into court expecting to be getting charged $500 an hour. Oh, they gonna raise it up on mine. This is criminal. This is serious because this went from civil to criminal. So because they knew that all that was saying was, you know what, we have no standing. Let's see if we can get something out of it. Because psychologically, if you already had a $250, $300 debt initially, and they've been taking you through all this bullshit through the wire about this bullshit case, and you finally get there, the average person would have been like, all right, man, I paid $100. It can be done.
Right.
But you stood your ground. Every time you talked, you reserved your rights, you reserved your rights, you reserved your rights, and then what happened?
He told me, I'm free to go.
Okay, what was your uh, explain your dialogue with the judge?
All right. Okay. Let me take it back right.
Mhm.
I was asking about the court case and my charges or whatnot.
Speak
The
up a
lady,
little bit for me.
when I called the courthouse and I was asking about my charges and stuff like that, and I asked the lady, I said, how can they change my charges? That's not initially what I was charged with. She was like, I don't know. That was the solicitor um that changed it or whatever. And I said, oh, okay. Excuse me. So that right there kind of like pissed me off. I was like, why are they fucking with me? Like, why would you change that? Like, to me, that's illegal. Like, I don't know much about um the process and all that stuff, but I just felt like that's wrong altogether. Like, you don't change it. So when I went to court, like before I went to court, the day before, I was doing some research, and I saw in the group or whatever, someone had did they went to court and they asked for the judge to certify their right of subrogation. So I said, let me click on this. It was over a traffic ticket. I don't know what brought me to it. I'm never really in the group like that. So when I did see it, I was like, dang, this got to be a sign. I need to look at this. I need to try this out. So when I looked at it, I was like, okay, that makes sense. I understand. So I took my notes and I watched the video like at least 5 times. So when I went to court, I spoke to the prosecutor first, and I was like, I'm not agreeing to anything. I'm not disagreeing to anything. But what I do want to, let you know first is that I reserve my rights, and I also want you to know that I want to certify my right of subrogation. He looked at me so confused, like, what the hell's going on? Like, what did she just say? Like, I don't know if he didn't know, or was just like not prepared for that. So he told me that, oh, I'm just gonna put you down for not guilty. I was like, I didn't say that. And he was like, well, you can just go in the back and have a seat, and when the judge comes up the judge will call you. And I said, okay, cool. So he went through everybody. I sat in that courtroom for almost 2 hours. And then when they did call me, the judge was real nice. He wasn't a jerk or anything. He was just like, do you understand what you're being charged with? He said, you got the paper, right? I said, yeah. And he was like, how do you want to play? I said, I don't want to say anything about that. What I do want to address is the issue here. I said, I want to reserve my rights, and I also want you to know that I would like to certify my right of subrogation. He was like, oh, you can't do that. I said, Your Honor, I would like to certify my right of subrogation. And he was like, well, I'm just going to put you down for not guilty. Um, you should get something in the mail, and you're free to go. It's like, and then he's kind of like smile with it. So that didn't make sense. And I didn't sign anything.
Mhm.
People that were saying that they're not going to be, that they're pleading not guilty or whatever, they were signing forms and stuff. I'm not signing anything. And I
Yeah,
did.
'cause that's because they making that plea of not guilty or not guilty is still in agreement with the courts. And just one thing, just to be careful for, because you still did a good job. Be careful, like anytime the judge asks you, do you understand? You don't understand, because that's a trick question to say, are you under our authority? So you said, no, I don't understand. Next time. See, this is the thing. Uh, the only person that could have lost that case is based on your responses. You've already reserved your rights on the record already.
Mm-hmm.
They knew your standing before you came in there, and they purposely pushed your case back and made sure you was one of the last people to come up because they can't have that stuff what you was gonna be talking broadcast throughout the court because everybody would have been doing the same thing like shit. Whatever she said. You see what I mean? Like
Right.
you all you had to do is stand on what you already put on the record. That was your voice right there. It's on and that's already public record. You see what I mean? So whether you reserved it up under segregation or you reserved it up under the universal code, up under UCC 1-308, it didn't. As long as you didn't consent to anything new, and luckily they didn't try to hit you with some shit because you said yes, I understand. But you got to be
Right.
careful with that. You don't understand at all. You know what I'm saying?
No
You don't
ticket.
understand. But
I always up with I should have made a copy of my ticket, like my original ticket.
yeah, remember you
So
said
if I
that.
ever get one in the future, make copies of everything because I went online to the city of Norcross where I originally got my ticket from, trying to find some proof of my old ticket, what it originally was. It's nothing there. Like I put my license number in, I put my name in, like it's nothing there.
Oh, so they already removed the shit from the.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So now look, so they'll do shit like that. They supposed to. Well, actually, not. They're not supposed to. They supposed to keep up public record of the outcome of the case of cases and stuff like that. Uh, but yeah, because if you need to use that, because remember I was like, I don't know, I was worried because, like I say, the court first for one, the court date was so soon. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? They didn't even give you 30 days to prepare. And then once they switched the charges, I'm like, fuck, okay, do you still got your ticket? Do you got copy? Because that's your proof of claim right there. Like, hey, this because that's another flaw, that's another illegal action that they took against you. You know what I'm saying? So, but luckily, like I said, anyway, they had no standing. But luckily, still, it wasn't a board, ignorant judge or whatever, and he didn't want no smoke with you. He was gonna see if he was gonna bite the bullet and take the $100 plea, and so they can get something out the deal. But
Right.
yeah, other than that, because they would have went forward, we was gonna have to hit their ass with some Form 56s and some make him liable for the case. We was gonna have to do some other shit if they want to go back up after that one. We was gonna have to do some shit.
But it's not hard as I thought it would be. No lie, I was scared. I mean, I was confident, but I was still scared because when in that county, like they don't play out here. They don't play. So I was confident, but I was still like a little intimidated because I always look at a judge like, they can do whatever they want. Like they can say 2 years or a year
And you
probation.
have and we feel like we have no power to say so from what that
Right.
judge says, especially if
But
we don't have
after this,
a lawyer standing next to us,
hmm
which is
and
not
they kept
true.
asking me, "Do I have a lawyer?" I was like, "Nah, I'm representing myself." And it's like they couldn't believe it. They couldn't believe it.
This is what I want to. This one thing I want to tell people so they won't get things misinterpreted, because a lot of people are trying to do things, take the easy route out, and still, because they'll take your experience, especially if it's not explained, like detail from beginning to end, because that's important information to really understand what really happened and what you had to go through to really to beat these people. You
And the
see what
level,
I mean? It was levels to the shit. You actually, in order to get to that level, you had to have defeated them on the smaller level, smaller scale. That's why they can't fuck with her, can't fuck with her. Let's do this, let's do that. You see what I mean? Now, true enough, it's some shit. I mean, it's different situations where we could just verbally, reserve our rights and state things and stuff like that on the record. But my personal opinion and my personal experience, for one, I try to avoid court by all costs. You see what I mean? Secondly, if I do go to court, I'm not going to court uh, uh, the way we go to court traditionally. I'm going to court by special appearance. You see what I mean? So if that's not on the record, because we got to understand contracting. If you don't give notice that you're appearance, you making a special appearance, that's you consenting to the contract and jurisdiction of the court. You see what I mean? So that was along with your package too. That you sent. It was a special appearance. It was also and it's a notice to the court. what hope jurisdiction, proof of claim, blah blah blah, and reservations of rights. All of that was
The
already
UCC.
and UC up under the Uniform Commercial Code. That was already you already laid it out for them.
And I saw my paperwork too. Like
Huh?
when I saw my paperwork too. When I went up there to speak with the prosecutor, he opened my folder and I saw my paperwork that I sent in. I saw it.
I know.
And
And
he
what
was trying
happened?
to be nice to me. Oh, you want to? He was like, okay, so this is what you're being charged with. I didn't sign anything. And he was like, well, do you want to just take this $100 charge? And he said something else, like I want to say a class or something. And I was like, no, no. And it's kind of like it frustrated him a little bit. Like he wanted me to say yes so bad. I was like, nah.
But it was. But based on your experience, do you really see? No matter what charges they try to act like they was against you. Oh, this is criminal charges. This is that. You stood your ground. They knew what your standard was. You just said it right there. When you went up there, your paperwork was right there. They know exactly what the fuck where you were standing from on. You know what I'm saying? Because this is one thing. It's easy to twist somebody's words up verbally. You can't do that when shit is on paper, shit is documented, and shit is sent certified. It is no way to avoid that. You see what I mean? All you could have did was go in there and fuck up and say the wrong thing that go against your standard. That's off. That's the only thing that could have happened. People get away with shit sometimes just by stating some shit. But I'm all about having security and insurance backing up my claim. I already claim. If you don't claim your rights, you have no rights. I don't give a fuck about what nobody say out here. Oh, just say this and do that. No. You made your stand and your mark from the beginning and stood on it. That's why you win. That's why you won. Especially it went to a criminal. Like they would have made an example out of you if you didn't do that. If you didn't stand your ground. Because it's easy. Why wouldn't they? You know what I'm saying? Why would they give you the victory so easy?
When he said you free to go, I was like,
You free to go.
I couldn't believe it. And then he did like a little smile with it.
Because he knew what was up. Come on. It's like whole demeanors change. Whole demeanors change. You know what I'm saying? Whole demeanors change. You was in a criminal courtroom. Whole demeanors change. They know they don't want to be liable for that. They don't want to be liable for that. You
Now,
know,
what
either
I want to do is, I'm sorry.
no, what you say?
What I do want to do is do some more research about the judge initially saying, this is a criminal case. You can't do subrogation of your rights or whatever. He did tell me that, but I think he was saying that just so the people in the courtroom wouldn't try what I'm doing. But he did say I can't do that, and I'm like,
Well, they're gonna tell you first. See, it's an inside and outside game. You know, you're gonna respond, and the judge is gonna tell you. It's like him responding publicly, but he's actually it's a silent dialogue. You see what I mean? Publicly, he's stating that for entertainment purposes for the public. So, oh, you
right,
can't do this and that. But silently, you know, that recorder that's sitting right next to him, you see what I mean, that clerk and all that stuff, they have a completely different dialogue. Okay, you're free to go home. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not gonna admit out in public that oh you're right. Oh, okay, my bad. None of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's another game to get you to slip up and say the wrong shit and the contract in the jurisdiction of the court. We already at risk by being in the courtroom. You know what I'm saying? Up under the jurisdiction. You know, we already at risk. So can't nobody tell you that you can't reserve your rights. That don't even make sense. Like you can't reserve your rights. Oh, so you remember I told you to ask a question, to answer a question with a question? Oh, so I can't reserve my rights?
I said why? I
Huh?
said why? I asked him why, but he didn't answer me. He said, "I'm just gonna put you down for not guilty." I'm like, damn, like he was talking over me, but he wasn't being, rude or anything. But I was just like,
A judge can't A judge can't make a plea on your behalf. That's another strike against his oath of office. Like it's like so just like oh I'm gonna put you down for not guilty. Oh you're gonna make a plea on my behalf. You see what I mean? That type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you're gonna make a plea on my behalf. You see what I mean? That's on the record that he did that, and you said you acknowledge that he's doing that, and they know what's law, what's not. So that's rather they're gonna say whatever they're gonna say out loud. That'll interrupt, interfere the progress of their business operation, getting people's money in and out the court. If they sit there and allow you to destroy them publicly like that, you know, that's why dude was smiling. It was like it's almost like when you catch somebody on some bullshit and you be like, haha, or you know what I'm saying? That's what it was. Ah, okay. All right. Like you like, you want to pay 100? You want to take these classes? You like, I'm not gonna pay that boy. You be like, it'd be like, I'll just make sure you work. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it is. Like that's it. You want to pay this 100? Huh? You want to take this class? Hell no, I don't want to take this class. You know damn well I ain't got to take this class. Oh, I'm just checking. My bad. You free to go? I was just checking. That's all they were doing.
There though, people were just taking pleas. They were scared. They was taking probation. I'm just like, y'all gotta know y'all stuff. Like they was just taking anything.
These courts are getting so much money out of the people. It's ridiculous. The courthouses are always packed with our people. Packed. We don't know what the fuck to do. Don't know how to stand our ground. They believe the judge is some type of god because the judge acts like some type of god. And we gotta start taking our rights back and flipping the table on these people. You know.
This material free, and I told a dude there. He grew up with my brothers. I said, look, you need to study this right here. You need to study this. You need to know your rights. Because he got a court-appointed lawyer. And I said, look, if you're going to get his case, he was there 2 times. He was there for 2 different things. And he said his court-appointed lawyer took his last case. And he wants her to take this one. I said, look, tell her this is what you want to do. Research this and tell her this is what you want to do. He didn't know. Like, he had no clue. Excuse me. But he didn't know. And I was just like, man, we got to do better. We got to do better. We got to.
Because we know, like, if let's say, typically when we're in court, as with or without a lawyer, that judge is going to only ask us a few different questions and allow us a certain amount of time to speak on our behalf. And one of those questions and times to talk is when they ask us do we understand and how do you plead. So out of the amount of times that we have to speak, 2 of those are questions that we have to answer. You see what I mean? So it's only a short period of time that we have to even express our standing, you know what I'm saying, against the case. And that's why we have to go about these cases by way of motion, because that's the only way we can actually speak and exercise our rights by way of motion, fully at least, to the fullest extent, without being ignored. We can't sit up there and go through a whole full-fledged dialogue with a judge. It doesn't happen. You see what I mean? And if you think about it, that's the whole purpose why we're trained to hire a lawyer or an attorney, because they can speak to the judge, right? Because we can't speak to the motherfucker.
Right.
Because we're not on his level. You know what I'm saying? We're not competent. That's why we got to change that shit. Yeah, my word has already been spoken on the record. You know what's up. Look at the paper. Nope, 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 nope. I don't consent. I do not consent. I do not agree. I don't understand nothing. You know what I'm saying? And it's like they got nothing to hang you with. No, I'm not the corporation. I'm the administrator and representative of the corporation that has similar variation of my name. You know what I'm saying? Here goes Here's the guy you want. Here's the birth. There's so many ways to do it. Ultimately, not consenting. But what we got to understand is we can't. We gotta everything people because people will do some shit and it don't work for them. They say, "Oh, that shit don't work." It don't work because you forgot that you already contracted with these people. We contracted. That was a traffic violation. You see what I mean? So initially, you have to claim your standing and correct your status with that before going to court to have the best chances of winning because technically you did contract with these motherfuckers but because you got a driver's license. So people keep talking this shit about we're the people, we have the credit, we have this, we have that, but you contracted your rights out. You gave away your rights to travel in return for a privilege to drive. But yet we argue with the judge talking about this, talking about that, reciting truthful facts about law and our rights to shit. But that is true. But we waived our rights to even exercise our rights because we didn't correct the contract, or we didn't acknowledge the fact that it was a contract that we signed up under duress. We didn't acknowledge that. So we're gonna get slammed every time we go by, oh, that process didn't work. Because you failed to realize that you had a contract that said that you don't have no rights. You have privileges.
You know what I filled out though? That any contract that I signed, I had no knowledge of. So that was pretty powerful too.
So you rescinded. So that was with your package to the clerk, right?
Yep.
I'm glad you sent that with that because that's actually in the folder. I made for you. It was a whole bunch of different stuff, but I'm glad you put that with that. I'm glad you put that with that. That right there breaks that right there broke the agreement right there, the contract that you signed.
Like 14 different things. It was like and it was basically saying I don't, have no knowledge of that. Any contract that I've signed, I pretty much take that back because I wasn't aware. And I turned that into, so they had a lot of information from me.
Therefore, you can't be actually liable. You only can volunteer liability because like I say, up on a uniform commercial code that protects us up under contractual agreements that have terms and conditions that we are not aware of or don't understand. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole purpose of that, and that right there voids the contract. You know what I'm saying? Because only way me and you can have a legal mutual agreement is if both parties consent, both parties agree, and both parties have to agree by way of signature. We talking about one-way contracts. That's not a valid agreement if only you signed on
it. Right. Yeah, right. Like even the officer did not sign my ticket.
Nah.
It was just my signature when I got it from him. He was like, "You can just sign this. This is not saying that you agree to the charges, but you can just sign this for me, and then you'll be on your way." And I was like,
"You'll be on your way."
But when he gave it to me, his signature was not on there at all.
Now, if you are up under a situation where you where the officer, because I heard this happen a lot of times, that the officers are kind of intimidate you into signing because they'll say, "Hey, if you don't sign it, I'm gonna have to tow your car, I'm gonna have to lock you up, and this and that." So you have to basically, you signing is taking liability for whatever charge or agreeing to the charges right there. So we gotta understand, you just did a whole nother contract, but that's fine. You know what I'm saying? We're agreeing and we're signing under duress, but they will be penalized up under the penalty of perjury. You see what I mean? Based on because for forcing you to sign up under duress. Now, once you sign, anytime we sign any document on the planet, what can secure and reserve our rights within that signature and that contract is signing your name and right next to your name, putting UCC1-308. I don't give a fuck about what nobody say that still don't believe this shit works. I know this shit is like, but they said it don't work because they didn't know that when they first signed the first contract. So they didn't realize they signed the contract in the beginning on top of the original driver's license contract. And then they get to court saying a few words, and the judge hit their ass over the head with some shit because they know when you send out when you sent in those documents, they're looking you up. You see what I mean? They run your name to see to check your standing. You know what I'm saying? Now I know as of thus far you only have done the authentication of the birth certificate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you did your UCC1. It's a misinterpretation of those two processes, thinking once you do that, you ain't got to worry about shit and you're exempt from levy and all that stuff. No, that's it's still we still have to take proper procedures through different processes depending on the situation per situation. Different things apply to different situations. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's situation is different. You know, that's why we learn from everybody's situation, everybody's experience, and know how to apply different remedies. You know what I'm saying? Now, to be honest with you, if it was maybe like next year sometime when you know corrected your status on different levels to the point where it's public record, when they look up your name and stuff like that, you know, I believe that case wouldn't even I believe that case would have disappeared from the civil courts. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying me personally, cause and that's just my like they do not send me to court no more. I be like, damn, they do not send me. They do dumb shit like change the court case numbers, change my name, make shit. This is like they don't send me to court no more. It's like, and only thing I can think of, you know, because with the same shit, the other people try to do the same, use the same documentation. They take them through the whole, like, okay, you're gonna fight this whole thing. So now they're gonna make you stand on everything from the whole for the whole 12 rounds. You see what I mean? But it's still all on you. You see what I mean? But it's like I believe that when they run my name with some shit, they be like, nah, we ain't. It's like we ain't fucking with them. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing. It ain't no mystery what my. It's like because this is the thing. Anybody can do paperwork. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can wake up one day, send in a template document that they got on the internet. You see what I mean? But we have thousands of people that have neglected the fact of doing their own research and going through certain processes to reserve their rights and to remove themselves from the corporate entity of the United States in general. You know what I'm saying? In private operations, they failed to go through the proper process to really do that legally. So their legal standing is still you still one of theirs, and they know if you one of theirs or not. So if you one of theirs and you send in these documents, even though it's still legal or lawful, they gonna make you go through the full ringer as opposed to somebody that's done already went through all the other process to remove them from the jurisdiction initially anyway. It's like this is no mystery. You know what I'm saying? If you run your name and run somebody else's name, if you run my name through the public system, my shit is gonna run different. You know what I'm saying? I just got my name ran by the police last week. They act like there was no record of me in there. I don't know. This y'all identification shit. I don't know what the fuck your system say. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and they end up just, you know, they always tell you some bullshit. You know, it's like I was being black in the wrong neighborhood, sitting in my car on my phone at the wrong time. So 3 police officers pull up, you know, and I didn't have none of my other identification, none of my world passports identification, none of my American nationals, none of that shit. I have my corporate card with me, my Indiana license and shit. Now they ran it. I hate giving that, so I'm mad at how my other stuff. They ran it, but I be curious what comes up. So it was like they ran it one time. Then she ran the numbers again. They ran it again. Then she started looking at the driver's license, the front and back, as if it was a fake card or some shit. And they like, do you have another car? I'm like, no, that's the only one I have. You know, I mean, I have my other identification, but that's not with me right now. I mean, I am a world citizen. You know what I'm saying? I just threw it out there. Like, it's like, yeah, nothing. It says no record. He was like, then she was like, do you, are you registered with another state? I'm like, well, I'm not registered in no state. You know what I'm saying? Like, but she was like, I'm like, well, I'm from Illinois, but I'm, you know, I after that I contracted in Indiana before I perfected the contract, saying a little shit like that. But so when she told him Illinois, they ran did another run, and he came back saying some bullshit on the radio like, oh, it's for he's non-commercial, XYZ, XYZ, XYZ. I'm like, what did he say? It's like, oh, he said he's mean that you're not driving a commercial vehicle, so you're free to go. I'm like, no, what that, yeah, what that, yeah. I'm like, yeah, because what that means is I'm free to travel, and I'm not driving anything. I'm traveling my personal private conveyance. I'm not driving commercially. You see what I mean? That's why I'm not popping up in your system like that. When they say your shit ain't, we can't find you, and hold on for a second, start taking them all type of time, they trying to figure out what they looking at. That's all that is. I've learned that a lot of times. Eliminating some third party debt. They see you in the system. They trying to figure out what are they seeing before they communicate back with you, because what they say can and will be used against them in a court of law. You see what I mean? So they can't say the wrong. They have to make sure they're properly addressing you. If they don't if they misaddress you, they can be held liable for that. You know what I'm saying? So it's deeper than that. Like I said, I don't. I'm all about this whole purpose of this testimonial, so people can understand the full scenario and your whole experience, because this is educational for other people. You see what I mean? Because a person is just, I can't stand a person just put out some random information. Even the shit work. Just put out some information, but not the full synopsis. And now, you know what I'm saying? People try what you told them. They didn't know about the whole story, you know. And now they try some shit, they get jammed up, and it didn't work. And now they blaming you. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this shit don't work.
Research. You gotta ask questions. I was asking questions like,
you
man,
gotta believe it though. You believed it before you went up in there. Even though you said you were scared, you have to believe. You have to believe this is some bullshit. You have to believe. You know what I'm saying? Your stand in order to stand on. And I believe you believed it from the beginning, because I asked you once they sent you once you beat the civil courts with the first notice, and they try to send it to state. I'm like, you got two options. You either just go ahead and pay it, or you can fight this.
And I was like, hell.
You said, I'm like, I can't tell you what to do or how to do. I'm telling you what I would do. But you know what I'm saying? It's really a test of your personal character to go forward with that. I was expecting you to be like, I was expecting you punk out right there, and I ain't gonna lie. But once you said shit, I want to find. All right, cool, shit. I'm gonna send you some emails later. We're gonna get this shit cracking. You know what I'm saying? But the whole, especially when you got that other notice and you had court like the few days, I'm like, oh hell no. Nah. I didn't think you was ready, but you took care of business. You took care of business, man. You took care of business. Like
because that county is so bad. But when I actually got in the courtroom and I was just, peeping out the scene, and I'm like, man, this is not that bad. But I just view it totally different now. Like I'm not scared to go to court anymore. Mm-hmm. I'm a good girl. I've never been in trouble. I don't get in trouble. So, but I still know now, like I know how to handle it.
Besides that attempt murder you did in '96, but nah, I'm just playing. Nah, but definitely good stuff. Good stuff. So yeah, man. It's a county. Is it a county, or is this a state in is it Lamar? Is it a Lamar County? Or is it, you ever heard of that? Mm-mm. Hold on. It's a county in Georgia that I've just found out through my other government that if we file our documents, this is off the top. This is our if we doing our other public records filing and stuff in the recorder of deeds office. If we file them in that county in Georgia, they give notice to all the other counties in the United States.
Yo, give
So
me
it's
that.
national filing, huh?
Give me that information.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to check that out for me. Let me know how close that is to you, because I might need your help on some stuff, just stuff nationalized. Um, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna send that over to you, and yeah, good job, champ. So let's you know, good job. Let's I know you're gonna be continue doing your researches and finding more ways to perfect this process and securing yourself, in the future, so you don't have to go so many rounds. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's all about. And I'm be sending you over some stuff to do that or whatever. That's off the books. Uh, and yeah, you really gonna love that when they run away from you, just don't run in your name.
I can't wait. I
So
cannot wait. Because I do not like being fucked with. Like, I just want to do what I do in peace. Like, I don't like being bothered.
right, you ain't messing with nobody. Everybody trying to stick you for your paper.
That's it.
That's all they want. All they want is some money. That's all they don't care about nothing but money. You know, so I don't care what it's related to. Ultimately, the court want to get paid. That's
I
it.
could have told them that I had a bond up there with my name on it and I want to offset it or whatever. But I didn't even have to take it that far. It's like he was quickly trying to like shut me up. Like he was trying to get me out the way.
Right, because you already know, like I say, if they would have tried to fuck with you in that criminal court, we was gonna have to pull out the goodies out the bag on that shit, flipping that bond on them and everything. Like we can't even play with them. But nah, they didn't want no smoke, and they knew it was a bullshit ass charge in case anyway. They didn't want no smoke. They didn't want
That's
no smoke.
with all these criminals out here that doing shit, we really want to take this to trial. I mean, we're gonna see because it is Gwinnett County, so we're gonna see if they actually like mail me something. But I doubt if they do. But if in the event they do, I'm still ready. Like I'm ready to go. We can go to court.
Mm-hmm.
We can go to trial. Nobody was hurt. Like
All right, man. Appreciate the testimonial, and like I
no.
said, we're gonna be getting some stuff going. I should be down there soon. Hopefully this week, next week. I don't know. I'm getting my Bitcoin wallet situated, and take care of some other stuff. So I'm gonna hit you up in a little bit. I gotta do a couple more videos before I lay it down.
Send me this video too, because somebody else wanted to know what I did or whatever, and they wanted me to do a video, and I really didn't know what to do. I'm like, I mean, should I just tell them word for word, or like I didn't know what to do. So
Right. This is it right here. Only thing after that is your packages. You know what I'm saying? You can send that to whoever privately if you want to.
hmm
As we add to that and take everything case by case basis.
are
But
you gonna edit just like this? Like,
huh?
are you gonna edit this video, or is it like
I don't do no. I don't edit nothing. I don't give. I don't care. I don't do raw and uncut. Raw and uncut.
okay, cool? I mean, I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
Fine.
we good. We good.
My first
We
time ever doing it. It's just like
did a good job. You seem to be a good first timer at everything. So you
I know, and I
first
appreciate.
time standing up to the courts, first time doing. I'm like, yeah, okay, stood up like a champ. Yeah, I was happy to get that phone call back.
I was happy to be out. courtroom. I was like, yes. But all right, well, hit me up. Keep me posted.
All right, cool. I'm gonna email you in a little bit.
All right, thanks.
All right, bye bye.
All right, bye.